What's going on, YouTube? It's your boy, CamATL, and welcome back to another High 5 NBA video with your boy. Drop a like down below if you haven't already. Comment anything in the comment section to enter your name into the $50 giveaway that I do every single week on this channel. And make sure you subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Sorry I didn't have a video yesterday. I got incredibly busy, but we are back at it today with the high five. And man, do we have a beautiful slate. And by the way, last night's slate was beautiful, man. We dominated last night's slate, man, to get back on track. Had a rough weekend. Outside the whole season overall, we have been dominating. We had a rough weekend this last weekend, but it was great to get right back on track and have a huge beginning to the week. It was like beautiful. We were one change. We were literally, which we should have done that, and it was my mistake. But Pashaw pivoted to Hood would have been a takedown. And that's frustrating when you're one move away and you don't see it when it's, there. After the fact, I ended up realizing, like, damn, I should have made that change. But it is what it is. Greenlightdfs.com, join the squad, man. Let's go ahead and streak the rest of this week. Let's keep it going, and let's get it. All right, so my favorite thing about this slate is we have a ton of solid value opening up. We have some big time injuries going on. We got John Wall out. We got Russell Westbrook doubtful. We've got Shai Gilchrist-Alexander out. We've got LaMarcus Aldridge out. And more are going to pop up as time goes on. PJ Washington for Charlotte is out. A lot of people are out today. So with that being said, we're going to have some good plays on the slate. Now, first and foremost, let's start off with Victor Oladipo. When John Wall is off the floor, Victor Oladipo is going to run the point. I love Oladipo running the point here in this one, going against Theo Maledon, the rookie. I really, really love this spot here because Victor Oladipo has 7-8. He's under 8K, so I'm definitely expecting over 40 for sure. So his floor is 5X. Okay, Oladipo going against OKC here with no John Wall running the point. I absolutely love Victor Oladipo. Some other guys that I love from Houston with Wall out is going to be Eric Gordon. He's the other guy that I definitely like. Okay, so Oladipo and Eric Gordon, I really love them both. Eric Gordon is a very good price, but I'm leaning Oladipo as my main go-to guy in this situation. All right, now I spoke about him just a second ago, but Theo Maledon is going to start at point guard with no Shai Gilchrist-Alexander. Now, what the numbers tell me now, it's a very small sample size. It's not many minutes to go off of because there hasn't been many times Alexander's been off and Dort and all these guys have been on. But Lou Dort gets the biggest usage bump so far this season when Shai Gilchrist-Alexander has been off the floor. Lou Dort has absolutely dominated. Okay, now let me check what Dort's price was real quick. Dort is 4-4. So I love Lou Dort. If you want to believe the small sample size and believe that that does come to fruition now with this bigger sample size that he's about to work with, like I said, it's like 11-point usage bump. It's a huge bump. It would put Lou Dort at must play potential. If you take his fantasy points per minute that he averages with Shai Gilchrist-Alexander off the court, and you take the amount of minutes he plays, it would put him in must play territory. Okay, so if you believe that, run with it. I'm putting Theo Maledon in the high five because he's 4-3. He's starting point guard here. Great situation here for Theo Maledon, so I wanted to just go ahead and put him in here. And he's obviously going to get the direct bump with Shai Gilchrist-Alexander out. But yeah, love Lou Dort, love Diallo. There's a lot of guys to be interested in here for OKC, so I like both sides of this game 100%. All right, next up, Kemba Walker is doubtful on the back-to-back, so I'm going to go Jaylen Brown, who, because he played last night, maybe his price is a little lower than it should be. At 7-9, his price went down from 8K, okay? He hasn't been 7-9 since like December 30th, after December 30th, okay? He has been over 7-9 since January 1st. This is the cheapest he has been, and now you take Kemba Walker off the court in one of the best matchups you can possibly ask for any offense going against Sacramento. I love Jaylen Brown. I think he's going to drop a 50 piece here. Love him and Tatum. Both guys are in fantastic options, and they're both studs priced at a way too cheap range. Okay? I mean, Tatum's going to put up stud numbers tonight, and he's only 8-9. Jaylen Brown's going to put up stud numbers tonight, he's only 7-9. So definitely love exposure to that Boston side against Sacramento today, regardless of the back-to-back. All right, now Let's talk power forward because another misprice, in my opinion. 8-3. I know Sabonis played last night, played 35 minutes yesterday in a blowout against Memphis, but he dominated with 60. He absolutely smashed. Loved him yesterday. Now he gets to go against Milwaukee, who gave up over 45 to Zion Williamson, gave up over 45 to John Collins so far. So this is a very solid situation. Last year against Milwaukee, December 22nd, he dropped 59 against them. At 8-3, it's just another situation of a guy being way too cheap. Plain and simple. He has not been 8-3 since the last time he was 8-3 was the first game of the year. He was 7-4 in the first game of the year, guys. Sabonis was 7-4 in the first game of the season. Ever since he's been over 8-3. This is the cheapest he has been all year, pretty much. Take advantage of Sabonis that cheap. He's super duper consistent. He's going to play 35 plus minutes. This should be a competitive game between the Pacers and Milwaukee. Love Sabonis here in this one. All right, last but not least, man. So the last time we played this guy, he busted like huge. Okay, no homo. He busted huge. All right. And I told myself, guys, I'm never gonna play him again. But that was just out of just anger at the time, because once again, it was an easy cash night. Like the only reason we lost this last weekend, the two losses we did have was because studs. Van Vliet one night, who by the way smashed for us last night, but Van Vliet is an example as well. Van Vliet busted for us and was the reason for one of our losses this last weekend. But yet we went right back to him because of his price and his opportunity, and he smashed last night for like 70 something, and we cashed big. Okay? DeMar DeRozan was the other guy. That was another reason we lost during the weekend. Literally, DeMar DeRozan and Van Vliet are two guys that if they put up their normal points, even less than their normal points, we cashed during the weekend too, and we're smooth sailing this whole time. We haven't had any down points in this entire season. But DeMar DeRozan busted, and he was the reason. But with that said, same thing I did with Van Vliet last night. I'm going right back to the well. LaMarcus Aldridge is going to miss. DeMar DeRozan is under 7K. Plain and simple, this dude's usage is up. This dude's fantasy points per minute is up with LaMarcus Aldridge off the floor. The matchup is great. I love DeMar DeRozan at home in San Antonio at under 7K. I mean, it's just another situation where at the end of the day, with the injuries on the floor and the bump that we're going to see here, he is way too cheap. Okay, he's going to play about 35 minutes here. I think this is going to be a solid game. Going against Minnesota, a team he already dropped 51 against earlier on in the year. Okay, DeMar DeRozan is a fantastic play. Don't let recency bias and how he did for you if you had him on that day, because I know a lot of people had him on that day that he got 7. We did too, so I feel your pain against Memphis. But don't let that sway you. This is DFS. You got to go right back to the well when it's a good spot. Okay? Remember what I just said. Van Vliet cost me, and DeRozan cost me this last weekend. Easy wins during the weekend. But yet I went right back to Van Vliet last night. He brought me to the easy victory. Big win. DeMar DeRozan's going to do the same thing tonight. He's going to bring us to another victory tonight. So, love DeMar DeRozan at 6'9". Love this high five, man. It feels very, very good. Remember, I want to reiterate, PJ Washington is also out. That is going to be a bump to Zeller. Zeller's price has been slowly going up, and the matchup against Embiid is dreadful. But he is going to get a bump, and he's going to play a ton of minutes here with PJ Washington out. With Shai Gilchrist-Alexander off the floor, Lou Dort has had the biggest bump on OKC. It is a very small sample size, so you got to take it with a grain of salt. But if that, in fact, comes to fruition, Lou Dort at a cheap price is going to smash tonight. All right? So I want to make sure I reiterate that as well. Also, Russell Westbrook is doubtful on a back-to-back, so obviously that makes Bradley Beal fantastic. That makes Garrison Matthews solid. That makes Ish Smith as an option. Garrison Matthews sticks out to me because he's under 4K. He seems like solid value. He should play 25-plus minutes. Ish Smith is fine. I've already done my looking at him, though. And when I put my projections in for Ish Smith, it still puts him barely over 5x, barely. Bradley Beal obviously is in a smash spot here. I think Bradley Beal is probably going to go crazy. The only issue here is that I wouldn't be surprised to see Jimmy Butler defend him. And if Jimmy Butler follows him around all game, it could be a little tough on him. But his usage is going to be crazy. He's going to put up a ton of shots, so I wouldn't put too much worry in that either. So as of right now, in the high five, I do not have Bradley Beal, but I love Bradley Beal. There's a lot of guys today that are around that 7K, low 8K range that are in smash spots that I don't necessarily think that Bradley Beal is a must play because you have guys like Jaylen Brown missing Kemba Walker at 7'9". You've got Sabonis. Sabonis isn't getting an injury bump. He's just priced way too cheap at 8'3". Cheapest he's been all year. Victor Oladipo without John Wall, Maladon without Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, DeRozan without LaMarcus Aldridge. You know what I mean? So if you look at what all these guys have in common, they're all getting injury bumps. They're all in fantastic situations here. They're going to get fantasy point improvements per minute. They're going to get usage bumps per minute. And Sabonis is the only one who isn't getting any type of injury bump, but he's 8'3". He is the cheapest he has been all season outside of the first game of the year. The first game of the year, he was under 8K. But ever since, he has been over 8'3" the entire season. To get a guy like Sabonis, who has had a huge season, by the way, at the cheapest price he's been all year, I mean, it's hard not to love him. Also, with Aldridge out, Drew Eubanks is a decent value. He's bare min 3K. He's more of a GPP value to take at 3K. His usage has been pretty damn good when he's been on the floor. If he does get a solid bump in minutes, then Eubanks is going to be solid because his usage is solid. So more minutes would just turn into more fantasy points, plain and simple. With Aldridge out, Eubanks at bare min 3K. I want to make sure I mention him. Obviously, Podol's probably going to start at center. DeJounte Murray gets a bump. Keldon Johnson gets a bump. DeMar DeRozan, they all get bumps. So all of these guys are solid options as well. DeMar DeRozan isn't the only one that gets a bump. He's just one that gets the biggest bump, and he's really going to control a lot of this offense tonight, in my opinion. I think he's going to have a huge game. All right. Thank you guys for joining me as always. GreenlightDFS.com. Join the squad, man. Let's have a huge week, man. Remember, the downtime for this weekend was literally due to studs busting, okay? In great spots. All right, we're right back to getting it. Huge night last night. Let's keep streaking through this week and let's kill it. All right, thank you guys for joining me. I'm out. Peace.